just created a 20-minute flow for you to do. Whether you want to do it in the morning or in the evening is entirely up to yourself. It's a beautiful way to start your day, and it's also a great tool that you can use to like de-stress if you've had a stressful day or a heavy workload. Please do let me know what you think of it, and have a beautiful day or morning whenever you choose to do this practice. Namaste. Okay, so standing at the top edge of your mat, allow yourself to really anchor into all four corners of your feet so that your weight isn't all pushed onto your heels, and that it's also not too far forward. You have that middle ground in between. Allow the energy to flow up from the earth and softly into the knees. Allow the hips to be centered so you're not overarching either forward or back, that you have a neutral pelvis. Draw the navel in, elongate your spine and broaden your collarbones, dropping down. Take a big inhale, please. Send your arms up overhead, and as you exhale, soften your knees and come all the way down. You're going to roll up, stacking the vertebrae nice and slow, nice and steady, and coming all the way back up into that proud mountain pose. This is mountain pose, the way we begin each and every pose. We start from this point. Take a deep breath in, send the arms skyward. Take the eye gaze up if it feels okay. Now exhale, rain it down. Soft knees all the way, rolling up through the spine. This is a beautiful way to awaken the energy in the spine. Inhale and rise. Listening to the body, working at your range of movement, slow and steady. Exhale all the way down. Allowing your breath to continually flow in and out as you practice staying connected to it. Standing proud. Breathe, last time, all the way up. Now exhale, soften the knees, flow down. And this time I want you to allow your hands to slide up to your thighs. Holding here, I want you to lean forward and trust yourself. Push the crown of the head more forward and the tailbone goes slightly down towards the ground. Watch again for this happening, the weight coming into the heels, move slightly forward. From here, you're going to breathe out to close, movement connect to breath. Your right leg, you're going to send it way back. Take your eye gaze forward, strong back leg from the hip to the heel. Ground your back knee down and then place your right palm directly underneath your shoulder as you twist in towards that front knee. Allow the other arm to float up towards the sky. Deep breath in, deep breath out, detoxifying the mind, the body and the soul. Hand comes down. Lift the back knee nice and slowly, pushing in to create length. And then step forward and land nice and light. Inhale, arms float up to find your thighs, push through the crown of the head, long flat back. Common mistakes here are rounding up the spine. We want to push our hearts down towards the mat and open up through the collarbones. Exhale, please, close the body down, left leg this time. Steps way back. Your eye gaze moves forward. And the body remains lifted. We're not collapsing here, so this is energetically being held in the muscles. We're not sinking into our joints. Drop the back knee, placing the left hand directly underneath your shoulder. Spiral your heart towards the knee, so it's not just the eye gaze and the neck that moves, it's the whole spine. Inhale and reach. If it's a little bit intense, maybe bring the hands down and maybe back off on the twist, always listening to your own body. Bring the hand down to frame that front foot. Lift and go for long, long length from crown of the head to the heel. Pause, take a moment to feel that length. Step forward and land really lightly. Inhale, hands glide up. Hold your halfway position. Suck your tummy muscles in now. And breathe out. Allow yourself to close and roll up, stacking the vertebrae one at a time once again and returning into mountain pose. Stand tall, stand proud. Breathing in, breathing out. Close down your eyes, just even for a brief moment. Inhale, sweep. And then exhale, close. Inhale and rise, hands finds the thighs. Push through the crown of the head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the navel in, breathe out and close. Your right leg steps way back, and this time I want you to allow the back heel to drop down onto the ground as you spiral the arms up and adjust your feet. So the foundations of this pose are the feet. Your heel is roughly in line with the arch and the back foot is on a slight angle coming forward, not straight and not pushing back. So you don't want to torque the knee. Breathe in, sweep the arms up, and then as you exhale, big hip opener here, sink into your legs. Your focus and your drishti, your focal point, is down that front middle finger. Now the back arm is going to want to start to give, it gets slightly tired and it starts to give way and drop. Strong arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together, proud chest. Warrior two, deep knee bend, working with the breath. Taking your hands onto your hips and bring your toes forward of your mat, slightly inwards. Hinging forward, bending your knees as much as you need to. If you need to put your hands down quicker, please do. Hold halfway. Exhale, continue your journey down and let your hands be where your shoulders would be. So hands directly underneath your shoulders and gently let the crown of the head come down. Don't worry about getting the crown of the head to the mat. That's not the objective. It's to get length into your hamstrings, into your lower back and create a bit of space. And if you are practicing a long time and you're used to getting really deep, bring your feet in, I recommend, and start to modify your poses so that you're always challenging yourself. Inhale onto the fingertips and hold. Exhale, hands on hips, bend your knees if you need to. Keep the legs strong, coming all the way up. You're going to open up to warrior on the other side now. Deep knee bend, working towards your own edge. Strong back leg from hip to heel. Arms up, exhale and settle in. Try and soften the eye gaze, not a hard stare. Relax your teeth, unclench to the jaw, and just breathe. Bring your hands to your hips. This time externally rotate your toes, heel toe in to shorten stance a little bit, toes pigeon toe outward. When we come into this position, the goddess pose, we tend to bring our hips more forward. Sit back please as if you're sitting into a chair. Option here, hands on hips. Next option, hands in line with shoulders. The next option, which is slightly harder, is your arms up overhead. Go slightly wider, giving the shoulders that opportunity to open up. Sit back, sit down and breathe, breathe, breathe. Right hand comes forward. Left elbow on top of right elbow, wrap and bind like ropes. If the palms don't touch and you're here, that's okay. Eventually they will. Inhale and lift. Exhale, toes forward, hinging forward from the waist, slow and steady. Hold halfway, please. Coming all the way back up. Toes out, back side back, arms up, overhead. Sit back, sit down, breathe. If you need an option, when you need to release, this is okay. Okay, this time the left arm comes forward and the right elbow goes up and over and we bind like ropes. Sit back, sit down. Charge up the energy from your heels and in your feet, up through your legs as you rise up, toes forward, hinging motion from the waistline, strong back. Coming all the way back up. Open the arms, keep the legs nice and straight. Heel toe them slightly wider. Turn towards the top edge of your mat and make sure you turn your feet and your knees and your hips. So everything turns, hands come all the way down, ball of the foot on the back leg, stepping back please to downward facing dog. So stepping back. Pedal out your heels, right and left, right and left. Find some stillness in the downward facing dog. Root into your hands, lift your tailbone up and push your heels gently down towards the mat. Don't force them. Draw the navel in, pull your shoulder blades back and down. Just settle in. Glide forward please to all fours and separate your knees the width of your mat. Allow your big toes to touch and bring your backside back towards your heels. Exhale and float everything down. Head down, body down, rest. As you rest in this pose, can you make sure that your tailbone is drawn back, you're going to want to dump the body weight forward. This is completely normal if you're new to yoga, okay? But we gently want to open up the hips and the ankle joint, also the heart and the chest. This is a big move, but it's also a very restorative move for grounding the energy. So settle in and allow the mat to support you. And at any point when you're practicing yoga, or you're feeling really ungrounded and a bit anxious, come into this pose just for a couple of breaths. Stay here just for 1 or 2 more cycles. Rise up please, finding all fours. Knees directly underneath the hips, hands directly underneath your shoulders. Establish your right hand and your left leg. Let's send them away together. So draw the navel in, reach, 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 making sure the hips remain square to the mat. Coming back and try allow the 2 limbs to land at the exact same time. Left hand please and right leg. Lifting off together. Going for length rather than height. If you go for height, you're going to drop into a different curve on the spine. You want to try and keep everything nice and streamlined so that the energy can flow through the body. Slowly change, making sure that your navel is drawn in towards your lower back and you're not dumping all of your body weight over to one side. It's quite centered. Coming back. Settle in, use your breath. Good. From here, bring the hands slightly forward of the mat. Dial them out so they're not straight, so a slight turn out of the hands. Lifting up with the tailbone first, so all the way up. Find your downward facing dog. Adjust your stance, hands and feet. Look forward. A really deep knee bend and step your left foot forward, please. Now, if it doesn't land and it's way back here, that is okay, yeah? Put your hand around your ankle and coax it up and eventually it will find its way. Put the back knee down, inhale, arms float up overhead. As you exhale, start to work in towards the depth of this pose now. At the beginning when you practice, your body's going to want to push you back. It's trying to protect you. So you really need to make a connection with the mind, body and soul, and that's what yoga helps you to do. So we gradually start to breathe in and trust in the space that we're creating in the body. Arms up. Exhale, hands float down to frame the front foot and we pull back through the tailbone or the Hanumanasana, which is a half split pose. Long spine, so we're not rounding. We want to get into the hamstrings and into the calf. A micro bend in that front knee, please. Settle here for a good few breaths. Beautiful way to start the day to create space, calm the mind. And if you've had a bit of a tense or stressful day, this will really help you just to anchor in and to get rid of the tension so that you sleep with better, with more ease. Roll forward. Inhale please, arms float up overhead. Square the hips off. Micro adjustments give huge results. Maybe close down your eyes, feel into the body. Maybe wear a big smile on your face. Float the hands down, pull the hips back. Rolling forward, bring your hands to the inside of the front foot. Lift the back knee and walk yourself all the way around to the other side. Take your time adjusting your feet and your ankles. Push back to create the length in the space. And then ground the knee down. Let the hips remain forward. Pulling in and up simultaneously so you're not hanging down into your joints, that your muscles are engaging to hold the pose. Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, soften your shoulders. Radiate energy from your heart center. Strong arms, strong shoulders. Remember that your option is here, and if you need to support your knee, get a blanket or a pillow or double over your mat. Hands come all the way down. Pull the tailbone back. Strong straight back. And if you're really struggling to even get down here and your back is too rounded, get 2 books or 2 blocks and place them either side of you. Open up into the hamstrings. The hamstrings can be very bound, especially if you have a desk job, hip flexors and hamstrings, lower back. Inhale, come forward, floating up with the breath, connecting your movement with your breath. Exhale, come all the way down, pulling back. Come forward, and when you come down this time, again, you're going to allow the hands to come to the inside of the front foot, so the inside of the front foot. Lift the back knee, come in halfway, so find that midway, and your feet are forward. Hands down. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You can slightly turn the toes out. It depends how tight and bound your muscles or your body are. So we want to gently hinge forward from our waist. So we're not rounded forward. We push our heart down towards the ground to earth the energy. Let the weight of the head become really heavy. And that will bring us deeper. Hand positioning is directly underneath your shoulder line. You do not have to touch the ground even with your hands. If you're quite tight, you might want to use a block again or a pillow. You might want to go deeper with the knee bend until the body is open. Inhale, rise up halfway, light on your fingertips. Hands to hips is an option, it's slightly harder now. Coming all the way back up to standing, externally rotate your toes. Sit back and exhale, bring the arms forward. Good, now inhale, bring the fists to your hips. Exhale, sit back. Breathe in, gather in everything that you need for this day or this evening. Exhale, release anything that no longer serves you. Inhale, gather in, strong, proud, strength, courage. Exhale, fear, dense energy, anything that's lower vibrational energy. Rise up, create some softness. Heel toe your feet all the way back into mountain pose and find some stillness. Settle in. Allow some weight to bear into the right sole of the foot. Come to Vrikkonasana. This is the low variation of tree pose, the calf, or you can also use the thigh muscle depending on the day. You want to make sure that the hip is open, that the knee isn't collapsed forward. Today I'm going to use the calf option. If your balance is something that you're really working on, put your toe down and maybe gently lift and lower. Find a point of stillness by looking at something that is not moving. Anything that moves makes the mind fluctuate. If you want to challenge the pose, take a breath in and sweep the arms up, extending the branches of your tree pose. Hands into prayer, drawing the energy down and in. Shifting and changing sides. Make sure you land lightly. As you transition in and out of poses, they're just as important as when you're in the pose. Weight in the left side. Bringing up the foot to resemble exactly what you did on the other side. Steady eye gaze, steady mind, open heart. Affirming of the backside muscles. Once again, we're thinking strength and empowering the body and adaptation. So knee open, heart open, lifting up out of the ground, not sinking and collapsing. Inhale, reach, 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 spread your branches. And then as you exhale, bring in everything that you need. Find your feet firmly on the earth. Closing down your eyes, feeling the blood flow through your body. The beautiful space that you've created in your limbs. Inhale deeply through the nose and a heavy sigh through your mouth, please. 2 more times. Bringing the breath right down to your root chakra, which is located at your tailbone. Heavy, heavy exhale. Final one, breathe in. Behind your closed eyes, take this opportunity, please, to give thanks and gratitude for your physical health, well-being. Checking in with your emotional state. You're not judging it, you're just observing it. As we practice yoga, we practice self-love, compassion. We watch how we internally talk to ourselves, remembering it is a practice. Flutter open your eyes, and I hope this practice has brought you some sense of peace, and you have a beautiful morning or evening whenever you choose to do this. Thank you for joining me. Have a blessed evening or a great morning. Namaste.